So, last week we left off where you'd pushed a nun in the river.
Oh yeah,
That was the most. And
I think that trumps me strong arming the guy who wanted to get his kid out of a town for extra money.
Yeah. I'd forgotten about that. Helmet's just getting worse and worse. Basically, you pushed the nun in the river, and some other stuff happened. Like
that was the most noteworthy, wasn't it? Yeah.
That's it. That's the most of it. Pushed in the river. Some other things happened. Yeah, you got Sister Francesca out. You got chased through the town. You threw your coat down an alleyway like a ninja.
Yeah.
What else did we do?
covered your skin, and Martha has it, and you're gonna get cursed and die.
I mean, almost certainly.
Yeah. There's going to be some repercussions in there.
Like, why would she ever have that coat? Apart from the guards, like, chasing you, finding it, and asking her. But other than that, and then you took the body to Lord Adalbert's, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, Lord Adalbert one. I mean, I think that's
Yes.
actually where we left. I think that's actually where we left it, wasn't we? You just sort of you'd met up at Adalbert's.
She just vommed on his carpet.
She'd vommed up because you gave her the
Yes.
ipecac. In my mind, it's like that scene from what's it, Family Guy?
America.
There's just what's it, America? Yeah, it's just just like way too much sick.
Yeah, I thought it was more like the Expanse episode I watched last night.
Oh yes, yeah.
I don't understand this reference, but I assume there's loads of sick in it. Yeah. Okay. Fine. Yeah, and I think we left with Lord Adalbert just going. You gave the notebook to Lord Adalbert, I think, didn't you? And then we sort of stopped there.
Yeah.
Sound about right? Have I missed anything?
Yeah, I think that's about right.
We got
Okay.
10,000 gold.
Oh yeah, you found that 10,000 gold under that pillow, didn't you?
One note.
Just one block of gold with 10,000 written across it, which is gonna. I'm not gonna lie, lads. It's gonna be hard to get change for that. I'd just like to buy some lunch. Okay, that's 4 brass. Have you got change for a 10,000 gold bar? Well, let me check in the till. Hang on. Cool. Are you? I think we're all together, aren't we? For the sake of narrative ease, we're all together.
Yeah, we've waited, and they've arrived at Aldeburgh, the ones that went to the militia camp.
I think that's what happened anyway.
Yeah, I think I'd actually stayed outside, but let's say
shit. You were in Tannen's house.
I went out through the tunnels, didn't I? And then went back to the mercenary camp.
Yes, you did. Yeah, you're right. That's absolutely right.
Yeah. For the sake of this scene, then, shall we say that I have, got myself seen by the guards because that was the plan to be outside.
Yeah.
And then I walk into town. It couldn't possibly have been me because I couldn't have got out and then back in that time. So yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll be for ease of game. Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, that's fine.
Wow, went back to the mercenary camp as well, didn't they?
We went to. Yeah, but didn't we go into town? I think I cycled.
Yeah, Roll didn't need to
cycle. Road cycled.
I rode into town on my horse.
On your unicycle.
Yes.
I reckon he's got a penny farthing.
That's the level before cavalryman. It's like unicyclist, horseman, cavalryman. Weirdly, the last one.
A slightly shorter lance.
I can imagine it like a little goblin thing, like a Blood Bowl goblin, a little unicycle. Just. Okay, so you are wherever you want to be for the sake of sort of narrative.
Yeah, let's be with the group. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you were seen by the guards in the camp, so that's fine. And rolled. You were actually with Jacob, I remember.
Yes.
He loves you,
budding adventurer.
Your budding young friend. He's excited. He loves life. So yeah, well, is he coming with you to Lord Adalbert's because he wants to?
Well, he's certainly with me on the horse as we ride into town. So I think we get to Lord Adalbert's, and he's tasked with the important duty of tying up the horse.
He loves that job, though. He does. Like
it's
whenever you ask him, whenever you ask him to type the horse, he honestly looks like you've just given him one of the best jobs in the world. He's that guy that you've paid a copper to go and like deliver a message to your mate in another camp.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that he
noughts and crosses is an important message.
Classic. I'm not saying this ever happened, but occasionally messages like that do get sent that just say, "Just check out this one." Not saying it happens all the time. I'm not saying I've ever done it with Nathan, but I hear that it's sometimes.
But you're aware, yeah.
But I sometimes hear that it happens. Just check.
It's been a long time since I've heard that happening, but yeah.
Okay, cool. So you are at Lord Adalbert von Wallenstein's house. Sister Francesca is profusely vomiting onto the floor. Is not yet.
Her hair back.
Yeah, because she's got quite a lot of hair actually. Mm-hmm. She has got like nice. She's got that like really nice long brown hair, like curly locks. A lot of it, so you don't want to get plague bomb into that. And you've just handed Lord Wallenstein the book because neither of the two people there could read when it was handed over. And Lord Wallenstein he looks at it very briefly. Looks to Sister Francesca, who is still sort of profusely vomiting and she hasn't said anything yet. She muttered the word Shalia. She kind of managed to get that out at some point, but she's not coherent yet. And Lord Adalbert looks to you. He goes, I think you better tell me the story, lads.
I looked at me via. Why we did this out of the church?
About that we believed was being poisoned by the corrupt sister, my lord.
By Sister Martha, you say?
Well, yes. I wasn't going to say that name out loud, so we didn't lead the witness. But okay.
He's a simple man. He's all right. And you say you took this book from her, did you?
Well, from a shelf, not from her.
Right.
But it was a room that she looked like she was sharing with Martha when we entered the temple.
So this book could be Francesca's then?
It could be, but we thought if it had the possibility of being evidence while we were there, we may as well. And if it's not, then Sister Francesca can take it back.
He goes, well, let's get her somewhere more comfortable. She's stopped vomiting by this point. She's been vomiting pretty much constantly for about 2 minutes. She's just doing that. Well, there's nothing left, but she's getting out.
That dry it. That's the worst.
The worst bit, isn't it? It's the worst bit. And he goes, let's get her Sister Francesca somewhere a bit more comfortable. And he throws the book to you. I'm going to roll between helmet and rolled actually. Rolled. He throws the book to you. You're the most respectable looking one here, I think. You're the one who's most likely to be able to read. He throws it to you. Goes, take a look at that, lad. See if there's anything interesting in there. He's just sort of glanced at the beginning. You've seen what's in there, Nehemiah and Bert, and it looks like there was some pictures.
Scribbles.
Yeah, there was some scribbles, but there's also some pictures. From the brief look you had, you saw pictures of some plants and what looks like some pictures of some body, like human stuff, like human body parts. That's what you had a quick look at.
Okay.
Yeah, so rolled. He throws it to you, and he picks up Sister Francesca. He's pretty strong guy. He's a big, strong old guy. Picks her up, takes her over to a sort of chair, and he gets out to one of his servants to fetch some water and some hot towels. Hot towels sounds like the sort of thing that makes you feel better, doesn't it? Or cold towel. A hot towel and a cold towel. Yeah, so you can
a cold tile floor.
Yeah, bring me a cold towel floor, lads.
Face down onto the floor.
Yeah, he just puts her straight onto the floor. I've read this is comfortable.
Get that draft going.
Yeah, just crack open that window a bit. Yeah.
So he just drills a tiny little hole in the wall.
Has anyone got any flat Coke?
Flat lemonade. Oh yeah, if you got a poorly belly, it's that flat fizzy drink.
Oh, it's a flat fizzy drink.
Everyone knows flat fizzy drink is the cure for all ailments. And so, yeah, he carries her over. Rolled, let me know when you decide to have a look at the book, if you do.
Yeah, I think I shall try and find a good light to see if we can have a read.
Yeah.
I guess start from the beginning.
Yeah. Once in the beginning, there was a light. It's a long old book, mate. I was gonna...
Okay, right.
So yeah, he sort of takes her over. There's a couple, like the servants take a little while to go. You can get a candle. There's a couple of candles sort of burning. You can get a read of it. In fact, I might be able to get a little map of Matey Boy's house. Got upstairs.
You better say a map of the book.
I can get a map of the book. Yeah, it's not very interesting.
Okay, is there a contents page? Yeah,
there is the contents page. Yeah, page 1, herbs. Page 2, body parts. Page 3 to 4, heresy. Page 5 to 6. I'll turn to that one. Let me just share the old screen, you folks. There we go. You're upstairs here. He's just that's nice, isn't it? He's just put Sister Francesca over in this little chair over here.
There's all the sick.
There's quite a lot of sick here, actually.
Okay.
Came up these stairs and there's quite a lot of sick up here.
Why is it not on the map?
1 second. I can do that. There we go. That's sick colour, isn't it? Oh dear. Oh, Francesca. Oh no. There we go. What's the green bit? What's she been eating?
Carrot tops.
Yeah, it could be a carrot. Anyway, so you are up here. She's in this chair. Roll. You can probably there's a little candle over here if you want to have a little read over there. That's fine.
Oh yes.
It says, I didn't do anything. Honestly, I'm not a heretic, so everything's fine.
That rests my mind.
Yeah. So as you start reading through the book, she's starting to become a bit more. I want to say lucid, but is that the term?
Yeah,
is that
so.
Is that the other way? Yeah, I always forget which one is like coming round and which one is going out. I think she's becoming a bit more lucid, and she has some water, and she's starting to come around a little bit. Rolls you can flick through most of it. As you start to look through, it looks like some ideas or some bits about healing. You read a few bits about healing the body, and some of it is just here's how to treat this kind of wound. Here's how to treat this kind of wound. And it talks about sort of certain herbs and poultices and stuff, which is exactly what you expect from a priestess Shalia. It then starts to go into some bits about body parts. So sort of not vivisections, but it talks about certain bits which are often where certain types of injuries come in. It then starts to get considerably darker, as I'm sure you can imagine, when she starts talking about several mutations that she has seen amongst people, so ones that she has seen and ones that she's treated, whether it's the removal of them or usually the removal of them. And then you sort of scroll through, it's mostly drawings until there comes to a passage that talks about comes to the benefits of mutation, and how sometimes they can actually improve the human body, and if the human body is injured, it can actually sometimes strengthen it in certain ways, and could actually be of use to certain things. If things have happened, like certain injuries, you could useful to like grow another arm or things like that. Basically talks about the benefits of mutation. Would you like to keep reading it?
Well, I am quite disturbed by this. I think I am going to stop there for now.
Okay, you're only one corruption point disturbed. Then that's fine.
Okay, excellent.
I would have just moved. I'm glad I can't read.
It's like Cthulhu. Like if you have a skill that means you can do things that other people can't, where all the bad information comes from.
Okay, yeah, I think I am quite disturbed by that. I shall, I think, make vague references to the rest of the people about how it is quite a damning, I think, piece of evidence in terms of, I guess, what we suspect is happening.
Who wrote it?
Does it say?
It hasn't been signed by anyone. She's not got like Martha's notebook on the front or anything.
What's a shame?
Is it like scratchy old woman writing or like young lady writing?
It looks like handwriting that you have seen before.
Does it match the letter saying the attack comes at the end of the month?
It does. It's a similar kind of handwriting, yeah.
Perfect.
Doesn't match Thomas's writing then, because that would be awkward.
Yeah, that would be an awkward conversation. Ah, the witch hunter was a baddie all along. Yeah, it does match the letter that you've previously seen. Yes, no one signs their terrifying heresy book, but
I would
say, like, what if someone lost? What if you lost it?
Yeah, how would people go to give it back to you?
Argument, you say, who would sign it? That'd be stupid. Of course, it's not mine. I'll keep it though.
I'll have that. That's fine.
Yeah.
So Francesca is starting to come around a bit now. Rolled, you're feeling particularly disturbed about this this horrifying passage you've just read, especially from a priestess of Shalia. That's quite disturbing, in fact. But Francesca's come around. Lord Adalbert is looking absolutely appalled at the things you're saying, but he doesn't look confused, but he clearly doesn't quite know what to do in this situation. This is not a pack of goblins or bandits in the forest that he can just hew in half with his axe. This is something he's not used to in the town. And as far as Francesca comes around, she goes, where, in her Tillian accent, which I'm absolutely not going to do.
Oh.
No, because I don't think you can do it well without sounding like Mario. And that's gonna take the edge off it, isn't it?
Me.
It's me, Sister Francesca. Yippee! Like, it's not quite as it doesn't like have the grimdark, does it? And then she looks outside, there's stars out there, she grabs it and she starts glowing. And she just runs really quickly and smashes loads of tortoises to death.
Does she just start smashing like bricks as well? Just starts headbutting them and they explode.
Yeah, she goes through Adalbert's wall. Yeah, she started to come around a bit, and she just says, like, where am I? What on earth is happening?
Sister Martha, you're in Lord Adalbert's house.
Sister Francesca.
Sister Francesca, you're in Lord Adalbert's house. We rescued you because we believed you were being poisoned.
I don't remember anything from the last week or so, at least. Well, actually, she wouldn't know it's a week. That's probably ignore that. She doesn't say that because she had no concept of time. She goes, "What
year is this?
What year is this?
You've been in a coma for 5 years." No.
It's 2020. There's a great plague that we need you to come back for to heal. She goes, what day is it?
This day.
That day, yeah, the day that, yeah. She goes, I don't remember anything from 4 or 5 days ago. It would be that. What? And she, like, looks at herself, looks at us, she goes, where have I been?
You've been in
pile of sick on the floor.
Yeah, you've been in bed, being tended by Sister Martha, who we believe has been poisoning you.
Why would she do that? She came here with me from Tillier. Why would she ever do that? That's against everything we stand for as priestesses of the White Dove.
I can't speak for why she has done this.
Have you noticed her behaviour change recently, in recent months? Has she been more secretive, more unusual, going out late at night?
She has always been like that since I've known her, but she's older than I am, more versed in the ways of Shalia, but she has always been a guiding light for me, and I've never had any reason to suspect anything. She does have friends in the town who she visits for buying poultices and herbs and such like, but I've never caused to suspect anything other than what she said.
You know, to visit a man called Tanner.
Jakob Tanner, he's an alchemist, I think, isn't he?
I believe so. Did she have links to him?
I think she had mentioned his name a couple of times. Yes, I understood that perhaps she took some reading.
I just look at Aldebert.
And Adalbert's like, he's sternly sort of assessing the situation.
The handwriting from this book matches the letter.
Are you saying that to Adalbert?
Yes, yeah.
Sister Martha could identify Sister Francesca could identify whose handwriting this is?
I don't think it would be different enough to anyone else who could. It would look like.
That's fine.
Yeah, I think it looks different to you guys because you're not used to seeing scripture written all the time. But to her, it wouldn't look any different. Okay. I think. She goes, yeah, she was saying that. She said that does look like the writing of when we're taught in the schools when we are young. Yes, but that could be anyone in the temple.
Can you think of any illness that would strike someone down for days where they have no memory that they've been here that could be solved with a simple purge?
And she thinks for a moment. There are many illnesses across the world. Some of them come from natural means and some of them do not. I would suspect that something that could be done with a simple purge would have fairly simple regents, but for it to be purged so quickly, one would suspect a more perhaps a way that it could not quite cling to the lungs or the gut, for example. That could be something unnatural that wanted to be expelled or something like that. Yes, but
I'm done with this expert witness, Your Honor.
No further questions.
No further questions.
But she says, I must, if you mind, Lord Adalbert, may I have some time alone in your office to give thanks to Shalia for delivering once more into consciousness?
Look at him, I'm like...
But he just looks at her like, I'm afraid office is busy at the moment, but you can go in corner if you want. And she looks, says, okay. She goes over to the window, the window at the top, and she looks out the window. And you can see that she puts her hands together in a kind of a dove shape across her chest. So like rather than a prayer, like a dove shape across her chest. And she starts to mutter a prayer under her breath. It is a prayer to Shalia. You hear her mutter the word, Shalia, save me from this. Thank you for delivering me into this. I'm going to
start to move slowly towards her. I don't know the way she's eyeing up this window.
I'm moving towards Aldebert.
You're what, sorry?
I'll move towards Aldebert as he moves towards Francesca at the window.
Yeah, okay. So you see her, she's looking out the window. And you see, after sort of 30 seconds of her speaking, she doesn't glow, that's not right, but you can see that her skin takes on a healthier, you can see that the candlelight, she doesn't look quite as waxen anymore, and you can see that her skin takes on the much more sort of healthier, sort of like deep Mediterranean tan that you saw when you first saw her. Basically, she does. Yes, go on.
This is Paul asking it. Like prayer magic a thing in this game?
It is well believed that priests have access to divine. Yeah, prayer magic is a thing in the game. Yes.
Okay.
And it is believed by most people that priests can do magic or they can be blessed, so to speak. But you've probably never seen it before.
No, I'm not looking. That was just Paul was interested. Sorry.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, prayer magic is a thing. Yes, divine magic. Yeah, and you see, she's and her skin takes on a kind of slightly more healthier it was. Her hair's got like a bit more of a shine in it, and as it reflects from the candlelight, reflects off of it. And she turns and she looks a lot more the sort of confident and quite bold Francesca that you saw when you first met her. She turns around. She says, "I thank you for your aid, and this is very troubling." And you can see now she looks completely healthy. She doesn't look like she did when you brought her in. You know, she looked sick. She was sort of, her skin was sort of quite close on her bones, where she actually hadn't eaten or something for a few days. She now looks a picture of health as she did before.
While she's doing this, I deliberately went over to Aldebert, basically to whisper to him, going, "We need to arrest Martha now."
And he looks at you, goes, "Well, I think that's I think we've got enough evidence here, lads. This is troubling because no one wants to admit that someone they thought highly of was in league with the dark powers, of course, but it sounds to me like she's, from this book here, what Francesca said, and from what you said before, it looks like that witch hunter was right." And he like spits on the floor. It's like, damn it, I wish that witch hunter weren't right. He goes,
he's annoying, isn't
he is. He goes, it's a difficult one to approach. I don't really want to send a bunch of armed guards to arrest a priestess of Shalia. It's not going to look well, but
they get Thomas to do it.
We'll just go back. We'll just go back. We were only there 20 minutes ago. We'll just do it as quietly as we did that. I know, all right, there was a guard chasing all that, but it won't be too hard.
Sending Mr. Becker's not a terrible idea. But
we'll burn the place down.
What do you lads think?
Would burn the place down. Yes,
we'll burn the whole temple down.
It is a stone temple.
Oh, that's alright.
But we don't just mean burn like the actual building. He would take in all of the other nuns and that sort of stuff that we believe. We can, from what we can see here, Francesca is not involved in it. So it's entirely possible that many of the other nuns are not. And if we send in Becker, then he'll dump them all in the river.
Can they swim?
Yeah, they can. Yeah,
one of them can.
Will you get in trouble if the kind of witch hunters don't have jurisdiction over this? I don't want to cause you aggravation from like his boss.
It depends what the Templars want to do. If we're not seen to be dealing with it, then there'll be repercussions. But we're dealing with it.
Where we left it with Becker ourselves was that we were going to speak to you. He's still at the moment waiting for permission for you to do anything. If you give him tactics permission for you to do just Martha, we can go with him to make sure he does just take Martha.
I could send a couple of guards his way to fetch him, and then make sure he doesn't overstep his mark at Temple. If
maybe discourage him from bringing his lackeys.
Except the intelligent one. We mean the flagellants. It's like his servant one. He seems.
Oh yeah, that Holes fella.
Yeah, he's a good two. I see.
Yeah, he's good. I can send a couple of guards to go and request it, but it might sound better coming from you lot, seeing as you've had previous dealings with him.
Yeah, Helmet can speak to him.
I think if you go and speak to him, I'll send a couple of guards with you, and then it sounds to me like this needs to be dealt with as quick as possible.
Yeah,
and he turns to the one of the intern guards inside. He says, "Get a word to the watch captain. I want someone on each of the. I want 2 people on each of the gates of the city, gates of the town. No one gets out at the moment. All right."
Sister Francesca, I think you should stay here for your own safety.
And she's like, I would feel remiss in my actions as high priestess of the temple if I were not to be there to confront her myself. But
confront her when we bring her back. She's already seen you as a threat and tried to take you out, and the temple is going to need to be healed afterwards. So only you can do that.
She goes, I agree, and she sits and she takes a seat, or goes back to the seat and she asks Lord Adabert if she can have some food, and he shouts for
dry toast.
Yeah, just dry toast. He shouts for hair raff and
some cheesy mash. That'll do you.
Cheesy mash though.
Oh, cheesy mash when I'm hungover is like bliss.
I remember that time you got me kedgeree when I was really hungover, and it was not the thing you want to have when you're hungover.
Oh my god, no! Oh,
it was It was a lovely idea.
But then I made it up for you when I looked after you at the last event.
You did, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, oh, this is a really lovely idea, but I can't put fish and egg in my mouth with how much.
No. I can't help it. I just love kedgeree.
That's fine. It is not. It's lovely. It's lovely normally. Anyway,
did it cost you 20 quid?
Probably. It was in the field.
So yeah, he sends he gives you a guard and asks if you'll go and speak to Thomas Becker for him.
Helmet well.
Yeah. Do we have a warrant or a writ or something with your symbol on it?
Give me a moment. I'll have my scribe Herr Raff write something up for me. He sums it. Raff, Herr Raff.
Yes, take down the heretic. Yes.
And he, you see the scribe come out. He's a grumpy looking, but weirdly jolly chap. And I don't mean jolly as in like round. If you've applied that, that's up to you. But yes, that's on you. And then he explains to Lord Adalbert, explains to him what he wants. Of course, yep. And he starts to write out. He's very meticulous in what he's writing. He very meticulously writes out, and it's taking him. It's going to take him a while to write out a full thing.
Can you send that after us? We can't wait that long. She might be doing all sorts.
She might be doing all sorts. And it's up to you. If you can go to Becca without the writ, or you can wait a bit of time.
No, it's
not like an hour. I mean, it's gonna be like 10-15 minutes.
Nehemiah's on an adrenaline run. He wants to go out now. He's going to hurry up and wait.
Yeah, I just want to get away from the sick smell.
Yeah, it does smell of sick around here.
I'll go find Becca. Do some of you want to go to the temple, and we'll arrange for this writ to meet us at the gates?
I'll get Jacob at the gate, the temple.
Yeah, it's been what since you escaped. You escaped. You run through the town. You got back here. You went to the camp, hung out at the camp for a bit. Come back here, hour or so, maybe like hour and a half, maybe. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
I'm going to see if myself and maybe Hostella want to go via Tanner's tunnel. We don't want to go through the gates for her, just to escape through the same tunnel we've used.
Okay, so you want to go to Becca?
Yeah.
You're going to Becca. Is anyone going straight to the temple?
I'm going to go straight to the temple and watch to see if she's getting out.
Okay.
I'll go near mine.
Rolled.
Why not?
Sorry, Helmut, are you going through the tunnel, or do you want me to do that?
You can do. I was just going to say it'd be useful for at least 2 people to go in the tunnel in case, because that'd be shit to go through the gates and to escape through the tunnel that we know about.
Okay, then.
As long as
Lord Adalbert, my horse should be fine here outside your house.
Of course, you can stand next to my horse.
Very good. Then I shall go with Jacob, and we shall go and make sure that the tunnel entrance from the temple is guarded.
Did you tell Lord Adalbert about the tunnel before? I don't think that you did.
I don't think so.
No.
If he's looking at us doing that, during the investigation, we found that there was a tunnel.
I'm off to go find Tanner's.
We did from Tanner's house out, Tanner's house to the church. We think this is how the mutants got in during the first attack. We have it under watch. We're making sure she's not going to escape. We're going to go and do this rest for you.
He looks like he's sort of just like anything you tell him now. He's like, yeah, of course, like of course.
Of course, there's a tunnel going through the town. Yeah,
of course, there's a fucking tunnel where mutants come in. Like, yeah. He's like, he does it. When you're so stressed, you just pinch your eye, your bridge of your nose as hard as you can. Just try and squeeze all the stress out. And he's let's get this sorted before the graph comes home, I guess. And so you go off and do your respective things. Nehemiah, you're making your way to the temple, yeah?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to start there. As you get to the temple, you can see the temple door is open. You can see the temple door.
The temple door is open.
The front door is open, yes.
Mm-hmm.
But are you with him as well?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can see the temple's open. You can see candlelight coming from inside. and you can see the shadows of a couple of guards. Or so you see the shadows, sorry, of a couple of people. There are no guards there. We knew that at first. There was no guards outside. You can see some shadows coming from out of the temple. And as you sort of start to approach, a couple of figures come from out of the temple door, and they look like guards. They come from outside. They walk out of the temple. They look like guards, and you hear them. They're sort of nattering to each other, and the temple door closes behind them. Chink, chink. And they start to walk away in the roughly the direction where you know the kind of guard camp, not guard camp, like the guard house, the police station, right. The fantasy police station. You know, they're sort of making their way towards the fantasy police station.
Okay.
And they start making their way towards that. You see them talking to each other, but they're not carrying anything suspicious. They don't look particularly suspicious. What would you like to do?
I think we should split up. I think it's better. Like one of us keep an eye on the front door on one side of the building, one of us keep an eye on the guard on the other side of the building.
Yeah. What's she going to do? Like, how dangerous could she be? Just hop over.
I don't know. What if she's a witch? Well, we think she's a witch. How dangerous is a witch? Who knows? Like, we
find out.
I mean, like, did you see how much Francesca vomited? Can you imagine doing that for days on end? No.
I don't know if there's an anti-brick spell, so she might be right.
I mean, she wasn't wearing a helmet.
Yeah. Are you making any actions to kind of like avoid the guards particularly, or get close to them or anything as they're talking?
I think I'm going to avoid them at the moment because I'm kind of respectful for a little bit of how good she is. So I think if we stop the guards going to where they're meant to be, she'll cotton on. So I'm just going to let them go.
Okay. So yeah, they're making their way to the fancy police station, and are you just kind of scoping out the front and back doors?
Yeah, just trying to make sure she's ready. I'll take back, you take front, right?
Yeah, fair. Yeah. Okay, so that's what you see there. You see the candlelight still in the still in the area. What when you say you're at the back, what are you doing? Because obviously you've got the walls at the back, and you could get round to the fountain if you wanted to. What are you doing when you're at the back?
I am basically by the end of the wall where it links to the river. I'm going to stand there so I can keep an eye on if anyone goes into the garden and down one side of the building.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
And also, it's be fairly dark down there the river.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fair. Okay. So we'll cut back to Rolled. Where did you go?
So we went up to Tanner's and then down into tunnels. I think I'm going to, since we know what's down there, try and make as quick as time as possible to get right under the trapdoor.
Yeah, okay. So you can make your way to Tanner's house.
Maybe try it when we get there. I don't know. I guess maybe.
So you're going. Close it. So you're going out the city, out the town. Sorry, back in through the.
To Tanner's, I think, would be by far the quickest.
Okay, so you're going into Tanner's,
and then down and through.
Okay, cool. Tanner's door is locked still because it was locked.
Jacob.
Is Jacob? Okay, so if he's looking after your horse today. Yes, Mr.
He came with me.
Yes.
Are you only good at climbing, lad?
I give it a go, sir.
If I give you a bunk up, do you think you can reach that broken window on the side of the house here? We need to get into this house.
What? Why, sir?
We'll explain later.
Okay, fair enough. He's excited. He's on his own little mini adventure, so he's excited. Yeah, you can give him a bunk up.
Hang on, wasn't the house burnt down?
Oh, it's parts of it are, yeah.
Oh,
fantasy burnt down.
Yeah, it's fantasy burnt down. So it's still a bit of
it's all right. Yeah.
Yeah, so you know it was a house still, but you also know that a terrible fire happened there.
Okay. So get inside and unlock the door.
So yeah, he's actually he does all right. Actually, he's rolled pretty well. So he manages to you give him bunk up, but he's still he's like level 20 character. It's fine. He's level 20 D&D character as well. Not even a Wifrup character. Yeah, you give him a bunk up. There's where it's now half burnt down. There's actually some holes that he can get through on the second floor. He comes down the stairs, and you hear like a little, oh, and he opens the door for you. You see he's like covering his face with like a little plot. You're like, it's not very nice in here, Mr. Wackler.
No, we won't be long. Can I do a little, I don't know, check around on the street before slipping inside?
Yeah, do a you can't see anyone around the street. Don't worry, I'm not going to make you roll to sit there. You can't see anyone around the street.
Okay.
Yeah, it's fine. There's no one around this time.
Slip in and lock the door behind us.
It's very late at night, so yeah. Okay. It is now Helmet.
Yes.
You're going to Becca's, aren't you?
He's on a date.
He's on his date.
Unbutton my shirt a couple. Just
yeah. Spray a bit of brute on. Yes. Links Africa. Yeah. It takes you 10 minutes, 15 minutes to get to his place. He's the other side of town. He's a nice part. And then he holds fella kind of answers looks at you first, make sure it's you. So it doesn't say anything, just edges you in, and you see Becca in there. And he's been asleep. You can see he's kind of got his night clothes on. There's a candle very like burnt quite low in one corner of the room he's in.
I'm just seeing him like in that classic Scrooge, like the hat that comes down here with little candle.
He's like a little candle, which he looks at the flame. He's like, ooh. Ooh. He's like, yes.
You've got your warrant for arrest.
What?
The High Priestess. Was it Margaret, was it? Martha. You've got the warrant.
He's now. Like, I knew it. Do you have it here?
No, it's going to meet us outside the main gates now.
Good.
It's being written.
And he shouts, "Horse fella, get ready!" And he
get the branding iron.
Get the no, the big one. And Horse fella's like, oh, yes, sir. He's already the armor, but then Becca starts to he puts on he starts to butt his leather jerky and he's like overcoat. He's like, I knew it. And all the time he's mumbling. I knew she was. I knew everything I said. I was like, blah, blah, I knew it, blah. So you hear him mumbling away. Paul, you are outside by the fountain, aren't you?
Yes, I can see the fountain.
So you can see some of the. You see a couple of the nuns or one of the sisters come out actually, because there's some tools and some bits out there. You don't recognize her. You can hear her talking though, and you overhear the generic kind of like, "Oh, this is terrible. She's talking to someone inside. This is terrible. It's just such a thing that someone would come to the temple and steal away Sister Martha. Oh, it's atrocious. Oh, and what were they saying about stealing a coat? Strange as well. Anyway, what a unusual place to be. What a terrible time. And you hear from inside the other side of the conversation is just sort of someone agreeing how terrible it is and why would someone do this. But yeah, they seem to be pretty flustered as to what's going on. But most of them, as you can see, are still inside the temple.
Okay.
You don't see Sister Martha coming out into the garden, but yeah. But what are you doing?
Sort of waiting. Not really. I'm probably just watching the door. Not really doing much.
Just watching the front door. Yeah.
Yeah. Not
okay.
A little bit of happen.
Okay. So probably another sort of 15 to 20 minutes to sort of start getting across town. Helmet. If you go, the Rit's going to meet you there, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
On the way, I'm going to tell him that myself and Raoul are going to cut off the tunnel beneath the shut escape. If you go to the front gate, my colleagues will meet you there with the Rit.
Okay. Which way are you going? Where are you going? Are you leaving him now?
Yeah. So if Tanner's house is on the way, I'll split there. But as soon as it becomes quicker for me to go to Tanner's house, that's when I'll split off.
Okay. So you go on your way there, and then you have to diverge to go to Tanner's house.
Yeah.
As you go to Tanner's house, obviously you know the way it's there. You just get hit on the head by like something, like just like slop, basically, as you're on your way there. Someone has just slopped out the window at you. Someone has just thrown their like piss pot out the window in the night, and it's just hit you.
Charming.
Yeah, it's not great.
And
City life, isn't it? I'm a city boy. I'm used to it.
Yeah, it's pretty unfortunate for you.
I'm sure that'll be the last that comes into play this game session.
Yeah, you'll be fine. And you make your way there. You don't feel great about having another human's piss on you at the moment. But you can make your way down to the Tanner's house.
Amazing.
You locked the door again, didn't you, Rolled?
Yes.
Yeah. So you get to Tanner's house, the door's locked.
I'm knocking the door. Rolled.
Could you imagine getting up in the night and chucking your shit and piss out the window? Like, could you imagine doing it?
All right.
Like, imagine that was the norm. Just like everyone did it. Like, I need to.
That'd be awful, wouldn't it? Like,
that was
also,
just really think about that. Just like, just chuck this out the window.
Also, shit into a bucket.
No.
No, thanks.
No. I'll just go in a nice normal toilet, actually.
I'll just fuck it out the window.
I'll hold it in. No, until a toilet's been invented, I'm gonna hold it in.
Just fuck it out the window and get back to bed.
I mean, sort of easy at the same time. Like, yeah, just get rid of that. But like, does it have to sit under your bed for a while? Like, do you get rid of it straight away, or do you wait until you've built up? Like, what's the?
Oh yeah, you wait. It's like a bin, isn't it? You sort of a waste paper bin. You chuck it out when it's full, didn't you?
On a Thursday every 3 weeks.
Yeah, it's just not great, is it?
Sorry, I just thought that we didn't dwell that enough. How grim that was.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, I mean, you have just had human piss and probably a little bit of poo on you, and they eat a lot of fish around here, mate. They like it's a fish-based diet that's on you. So yeah, that's what happened.
That's not great. Yeah.
So how are you getting into Tanner's? Are you trying to break in, or?
I've knocked on the door, and was there any response from Rolled? Was you waiting inside?
Oh, I've gone down the tunnel with.
Down the tunnel, I think.
Fuck's sake! Right, I'm climbing in the same way I got in last time.
Yeah.
We've all broken into that house now.
Climb's a skill, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Yes.
Yeah. So do a climb at just a standard climb check, I guess. So just on your stat.
Actually, bang on.
All right, yeah, fine. Yep, you get in. Yep, you get to climb in. It's sort of crumbling down a little bit, like the bits are crumbling down. It's not great, but you managed to pull yourself in, and yeah, you can get in and go to the trapdoor.
Cool.
Yeah, are you going down?
Yep.
Cool. So as you've been down here before. You've been down here loads of times. You grab the trapdoor, and as you pull it, the metal was obviously like just melted or broken because you managed to pull the ring of the trapdoor off completely as you go to lift it.
Right, I guess I'll look around for something to try and pry it open with then.
Yeah, you can pry. You can find something to.
Yeah.
It's just minorly inconvenienced you.
Is it my life now? Is this my life?
I mean, it could be. You've definitely upset some people. So yeah, you can get down, and if you want to go to the air, you can see the roll. Are you at the other end of the tunnel, or are you outside?
The other end of the tunnel and the trapdoor.
Yeah, so you can see a light in the distance. You can see a faint light in the distance. Presumably it's rolled.
Cool.
Okay, the guard or Becker. Bert, you see Thomas Becker and the two guards as well. One of them brings him a writ, and he starts knocking on the door to the temple door.
I'll kind of trundle over. How far away is Nehemiah from the front? Like,
he's the back of the temple, so it's like 100 foot.
Depends the other side.
You can't see me. I'll be like, come on.
Yeah, he probably would. You could probably like wave him over if you want to, but
yeah, like whistle or something.
Okay, if I hear that, I come over.
And he just starts banging on the door. Sister Martha, in the name of Holy Sigmar, you are ordered to come outside immediately. Wanted for the crimes of witchery, treachery, heresy, consulting with the dark gods.
Can I suggest back door?
Yeah.
Yes, Paul. Yes, you can.
He sort of knocks the door for a bit, and it's obvious that this door is not opening.
Yeah. Back door, it's easy to get into, or through a window, either way. And also, Lord Adalbert would like me to remind you the writ is only for Sister Martha and not for any of the other sisters here.
He goes, I understand. Do not worry. I'm not completely enzealoted as some of my kind are.
Well, I told you we were working together. Now let's go and get the witch.
Holes fella, stand at the front. And he comes around the back where he goes, you know another way into this building?
There's always a back door.
There's always a back door.
Or there's windows, but back door.
Yeah. He comes around the back. You have to get down into the river to come back out, which he's not too happy about. But you go around to the back with the garden. You can see there's a couple of the priestesses there are kind of like huddled outside by the door. And he just turns and points to one of them. He's like, where is Sister Martha? Hand her over immediately. And they look at him and like, this is the priest. This is the temple of Shalia. And
he has a lawful writ from Lord Adalbert. We're only looking for Sister Martha.
One of them looks over it and they can read, obviously, they're priestesses. Of course. And he steps through the door. And Sister Martha is standing in front of the Shalia.
Outside, out of sight of Martha and her evil eyes.
The Shalia. She's standing in front of the statue, sorry. And she says, what on earth is this? What is the meaning of this, witch hunter? And he sternly says, I think you know exactly what this is. This has come. It has been weeks I've been looking for this. I knew there was a rot in this city, and I knew that it came from this temple. You have brought disgrace upon the name of Shalia, disgrace upon the temple. And she starts to kind of like back away towards the door, and looks to kind of unbolt the door. As she sort of backs away and goes to unbolt it, she obviously, you can hear Holzfaller and everyone, the other people outside, and she quite understandably realizes that she has been caught. She looks around for a way to escape. But she is still at heart quite a fragile old woman, really. She does. Let's have a look. So she starts looking at Holzfaller. There we go. So as she's talking and she's stepping backwards. She steps back towards the door, and she puts her hand on the floor. And you hear her start to talk. And Holzfaller says, whatever you're doing, stop it immediately. And she doesn't stop doing what she's doing. And then she stands up and says, let me face Sigmar's judgment then. Let's see if the truth comes out. And holds out her hands and offers herself to the witch hunter. Becca looked quite surprised at how he was expecting a lot more of obviously expecting something a bit more here. But she doesn't seem to, she seemed quite willing to sort of hand herself out at the moment. And as Becca goes to sort of chain her, she makes a grab for him and just tries to like attack him basically. And you see her just swipe at him. Nehemiah, you see this. I'm not going to make a roll for anything. She doesn't successfully manage to attack him. And he steps to the side and just knocks out this old woman, basically, just quite happily just puts her down. He calls for Holzfäller. He tells one of the other nuns to open the front door, which they do. Holzfäller comes in, chains her up, and drags her outside screaming.
Have we heard any of this down in the tunnel?
You're outside the town.
You're
so you're the trap. Oh, so you're the trapdoor end.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
You hear him shouting. Yeah, you absolutely hear him shouting.
Cool. We'll come up once we hear each other in action. Yeah.
When Holzfäller is like chaining her up, I'll go to help, but kind of like pull up her sleeves to see if she's got the tattoo and that's what I'm really looking for.
Yeah, she absolutely has it. Yeah.
Knew it.
Yeah, she absolutely the thing that you've seen before, she absolutely has it. You can also where is everyone?
I'm probably just kind of like halfway between the nuns and all the chaos.
There's a bit of a crowd outside now. There's a couple of people have kind of come outside their houses. The nearby ones outside the front. There's a few people there. Helmut, you're inside, aren't you?
Yes.
Yeah, it's everyone's in here. Roll. You can see this is what's going on now. She's being dragged out, sort of now shouting. There's a small crowd outside.
So I'm saying to one of the nuns and asking where her quarters are.
And she doesn't say anything. She looks quite stunned. She points over towards the room that the room that you know where she was being kept in with Sister Francesca as well. Yeah, 1 second. I just want to just sort something out. I'm just going to message one of you. Secret.
Secret games.
Someone's getting some secret games. I'm not, because I can't do anything on Messenger. Anyway, yeah. So yeah, they point you over towards her. Yeah, it was good, wasn't it? Messenger won't load. They point you over towards her quarter.
The chat.
I can, but I don't think I've set it up as.
Private message people in here, can't you?
Yeah, I don't know if you can.
Yeah.
Send to where you bring out the chat box. There's the option to send it to.
It's all right.
No, you can't.
Yeah, I don't think I've set it up as PM ones.
No.
But I've just messaged one of you anyway. Yeah, thanks, Bert. So yeah, the outside there's a bunch of people. There's a few people now kind of like finding out what's going on. What would you like to do? There's a bit of a weird crowd about people getting dragged outside.
I was going to go and have a look in her quarters and basically have a rummage, look for anything suspicious.
Okay.
I think I shall look to follow, I guess, Becca, Martha, and I guess the big guy outside, I guess, as we go out of the Horsefella. I'm just strangely drawn to that guy.
Have a
kindred name.
Yeah, he's a nice guy. So there's people outside that you can now hear them shouting, like, you can see what's going on. They see the figure of Thomas Becker, who in his full witch hat. He hasn't got his like massive hat. Actually, he doesn't have a massive hat. He's an apprentice witch hunter. He hasn't got a big hat yet. He's only a young witch hunter. He's an apprentice.
He might get his hat after this.
This might get his hat. Yeah.
This might get him his hat. They drag him around. People are like, "What's going on?" And the guards are like holding people back. A few of them try to kind of get. Actually, one of them does. Yeah, one of them gets through past the guards and starts like making it towards the whole. Yeah, making it towards the group. Does anyone want to try and stop him?
I'm not there.
Yeah.
I feel like I should because I created this mess. But
I just want to see Holzfäller
temple.
drop this motherfucker.
I want to see what happens.
So yeah, one of them makes through to the gate, goes to sort of make forward to like basically grab at Sister Martha.
I think I'm gonna at least start, I guess, reacting to that.
Yeah, and you see Holzfäller sort of tense, and like he's holding his sword in his hand, but you see him sort of tense. What are you doing, Tom? Are you like stopping this guy? Are you letting him go? What's the deal?
Yeah, I think I'll move to intercept as well.
Are you like you can hold this guy back? he's not putting up a huge fight because there's obviously, but do a strength check anyway.
Okay. One sheet. I'm going to spend a fortune to re-roll that. Oh, 79.
Oh, he actually just barrels you out the way. Yeah, he's clearly just sort of bowls into you, barrels you out the way, and goes.
I hold him back a little bit. I roll back, but
it's not worth it. It's not worth it.
No, just like that. Let's see what happens.
And then Holzfäller just steps forward and just with the pommel of his sword just smashes him across the bridge of his nose, putting him straight down to the floor. Which there's like blood immediately comes from this guy's face. And the crowd do step back a little bit. They're not quite as eager to step forward and give everyone a give thing. Nemaya, where are you? Sorry, you're inside, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
Helmet, where are you?
I'd gone to her quarters and was having a ravage.
Okay, cool. It's Nemaya.
Mm-hmm.
It's more where the quarters are, by the way.
Okay, that's why I'm going to have a sniff around.
Yeah. Yeah, so Helmet, you can see there's incense. So you can see there's some incense burners in there that are burning as you're in there. But that's quite common throughout the thing. There's a bunch, there's like robes and stuff are in there. There's some healing balms and some
checking the robes for any like hidden pockets or anything like that. Checking under the bed in a typical kind of, there's a pentagram under the bed sort of thing.
Yeah, there's not anything like that. There is in the pocket actually a symbol of Manan.
Manan.
Got Manan. Yeah, so there is actually a symbol of Manan which you've seen before. I could probably bring it up if you.
Like a trident or something, isn't it? Is it the
No,
sea one?
It's a little
Manan
fishy.
sea.
Let me get a picture of it for you. Pics. One sec. I'll just put it in here. Where are you? There you go. That's the little Manan symbol. It's the little fisho.
Yep.
We've come across that before, haven't we?
Yeah.
Well, synapses are firing from previous games like 6 months ago.
Yeah, you've seen this in. Well, do you remember where you saw it?
Graveyard, was it?
Saw it in the graveyard. Yeah.
Yes.
On the Tillian who had been killed in the brawl. The grave of the Tillian that was killed in the brawl.
Yes, that's it. Yeah, I'll pocket that then.
Yeah. So Manan is one of the old gods, or one of the kind of old world gods that thing. It's not like illegal to worship Manan or anything. It's one of the older ones. Yeah. So she has a Manan symbol on her.
Okay, cool. I mean, I'm not particularly au fait with witchcraft or that sort of stuff, so I probably might miss some things. But I'm gonna have a quick scan. I'm not hanging around too much by myself.
Yeah. There's nothing really suspect in here. The notebook you've already got that. You found that. There's no like obvious. Are you in the room?
Yeah, I'm wandering around the quarters. Like, I think the most suspect thing right now is Nehemiah just walking around sniffing.
Yeah, it stinks in here. Helmet, you can smell the incense, but there's a very it's
incense is incense, isn't it?
Yeah.
Can you smell cinnamon? I mean, you stink of piss, so maybe not.
Yeah, don't ask. Yeah.
Like, that is not a way of winning Tomash. Why are you not reaping the glory now? He's going to be all. Mm-hmm.
He knows who put the legwork in for this.
Like, yeah.
It's not. It's just smells in here.
Weird.
Cool. In which case, done. Satan Meyer, done.
Craig Davids.
Craig Davids.
We should probably get to Lord Alderbards.
Okay. Helmet, Nemaya, what are you doing?
I suppose we'll try and tag on to the end of the group.
Okay.
Try and rejoin them.
Yeah, so they're outside. So as you two head outside, you can.
Why can I still sound Spinnerman out here?
Can I smell cinnamon? Do I know what cinnamon is? No.
You probably know what it is, yeah, but you don't smell it.
I can't. I can't smell anything about it.
I mean, the whole temple smells of incense. Like, it's a really strong incense smell. And you head outside and you see Holzfella as you just catch the back end of Holzfella smashing someone to the ground. She fell over. And Becca like pulls up the sleeve and shows the arm and says, like, uncharacteristically sort of shows it to the people of the crowd and says, this here is the symbol of those who truck with dark gods. This here is the symbol of those who would see the works of civilization undone. They are enemies to Sigmar. This here is the sign of treachery. And suddenly everyone's just like, when everyone looks at it, you don't feel great. If anyone sees this symbol, you don't feel very good looking at it. You certainly feel a bit like it's unnerving. In fact, some of you have seen this quite a lot.
That's why I've got corruption points.
Yeah, roll a willpower check, everyone.
Spaghettios.
Fast. 20 or base stat?
Just your stat. It's just your standard willpower.
1 degree.
My dice, cat.
Oh,
Got it. Yeah.
did anyone pass?
Yes.
Let me just check.
Anyone who passed, you're fine. Anyone who failed, would you like to re-roll?
Yeah, this seems like something I should do. Having only 2 makes a big difference.
Yeah, you don't feel particularly lucky, mate. You can't re-roll.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
You have 0 fortune.
The quicker this bitch gets burned, the better.
Bang on the nose.
Oh, sorry, Mark. Sorry, this is what I actually did forget to say. In her room was your coat.
Bitch, I'll fucking take that. Yeah.
Hold it.
Yeah, sorry, that's quite important. In your room, yeah, that's quite important.
Probably when you're pushing the river that cursed you, mate.
Does the coat really smell of cinnamon?
Faintly. Yeah. So as you go outside, Mark, you sort of you trip down the steps as you go outside. It's quite embarrassing because you help, like, Becca looks at you, you trip down the steps.
Oh, no, mate.
Like, your lace undoes on your boot and you just go, oh. Yeah, you also get a corruption point for the symbol that you've been looking at loads.
That puts me on 2 now, just so you know.
You didn't see the one. You weren't outside. You weren't outside when they revealed it. So you're like, oh, he's talking to everyone. Yeah, you see it. Yeah,
it's fine, mate. Yeah, mate.
Yeah. No, I was just trying to work out
all the red buttons to engage with him, mate.
Yeah, everyone's looking. Yeah, anyone who passed, you're fine. If you failed, you get a corruption point. And he starts explaining it. She then, like, the facade drops completely. She stops, like, being this frail old woman, and she stops, like, letting it go, and she just screams out that nothing they do is ever going to be enough. You can't stop the tide of chaos that's coming from the north. Only through the salvation of our Lord Zinch can we truly be saved. He's the gift. He's the one who will change us all. And she gets about 30 seconds into this rant before her head swiftly leaves her body as Holzfella just politely removes it with his sword. Yeah. So that's where she gets to in the speech. As people, like, the crowd start to, like, walk back, you see everyone start making, like, symbols of Sigmar. Some of them make their kind of like the Shalier wings. You see a couple of them make the Manan symbol, which is like a little fist. They make like they all, yeah, they like a series of faiths. Yeah, a series of different faiths here. People kind of whoever they turn to most. But Sister Martha is now lacking one head, as it kind of just rolls across the floor. As Thomas Becker looks to the crowd and just says, such is the fate of all traitors to the Empire. Such is the fate of all those who would walk outside of Sigmar's light. Now, go back to your homes, and they all sort of scurry off. There's a lot of like, you hear people muttering like, oh, they thought Sister Martha was all right. She used to make cakes and like bring them jam and stuff. They're quite surprised. Yeah. And Becca looks at you all and just says, thank you for doing what I was unable to. I feel shame that I was unable to do that which you have done. I owe you a debt, as to my order.
We like to keep to our word. This is why we offered you that we would help. And then you would help us take up the camp in the forest.
As was agreed. Myself, Holzfäller, like the flagellants have already obviously started to like come out the wood, but they've made their way here now.
They are going mental, aren't they?
There's the ones you can see. They're whipping themselves. They're like, we knew, we told this, that we said this town was damned. We said it was. They're like smashing themselves. He says, I'll do what I can. I can send word to the order, and we can perhaps spare some there, but it would take 6. Well, what is it? 3 days. It would take 10 to 12 days, a good ride, depending.
Don't really have that time, do we?
No, I imagine this news of this will somehow get out and may prompt them to action sooner rather than later.
You suspect there are others in the town who would work against this?
Who knows? Or the next time they try and make contact, she's not there.
Then we should prepare.
Yeah, I think for once we're ahead of this game, so let's take the initiative while we can. Though it would do your public image the world of good if you apologise to Francesca.
If she is free of taint, then I'm not above apology to one who has been wrongly accused. I will see to it that I will speak with her privately and attest to her innocence. I mean, I can sit and roleplay both sides of the characters if you really want.
I'm just like, Craig David.
The hot NPC on NPC.
Yeah. I don't really want to do that.
Can you just turn like this and then?
Yeah, please. Or maybe some masks or different.
Yeah, like a wig on one. Wig on one side.
You just flip between the two pictures in a screen share as well.
Yeah, and you're so good at accents, you could easily do it.
Oh yeah, they are flawless, aren't they? They are absolutely flawless. Yeah, there is a cooling corpse of Sister Martha in the street. The Sisters of Shalia look pretty confused as to what's going on. Thomas Becker is very happy with you for helping him out, and has agreed to help you go out and fight
first round in.
Yeah, he'll get the first round.
Yeah.
I think Holzfäller will get the first round.
A lot of it was Helmet. He really looks up to you.
He looks over to help. What do you want? Yeah, I mean, where do you want to go from here?
I think so.
Yeah, I think that finished itself rather quickly expected. I think we can retire for the night. I think.
Yeah, you did all the stuff to like catch her off guard. You did it the right way. Like, we could have rolled some fights for a combat, but she hasn't got any combat skills, so it would have been just some guys rolling some dice at an old lady. Like,
we probably would have all just been missing at each other for like 30 minutes.
Yeah. So yeah, it's up to you what you want to do. You know that you've got, or you believe you've got a certain amount of time until they're going to attack the town.
Let's go speak to Alderwold and see how quickly he can muster up a force to go out.
I thought that was the issue.
Yeah, he couldn't spare. The issue was that he couldn't spare many guards because the witch hunter was basically causing trouble around town, and
he's not anymore though, is he?
And the flagellants were an issue around town. He doesn't have a decent standing force, like a proper standing force, but he did say he could spare some of the town guards that would be able to go with you there.
So a couple of days to get a fighting force together and do some shopping and have some Craig Davids and then onto the forest.
I'm happy to do that if you want to do that.
I think that's a good plan. Yeah.
Okay.
Break here and
So how? Yeah. If there's generic congratulations from everyone. Well done. Lord Adalbert is kind of put out. Sister Francesca can't believe it. She has that like shocked, kind of shocked noblewoman thing in a, oh my, like that. She has that, but in a perfect Tillian accent.
I point out that she confessed in front of a number of houses, so she doesn't believe there's asked the other priestesses of Shalley.
She doesn't. Yeah, there's no. Becca does speak to her. You get word that he speaks to her, and he's happy that she's innocent. So for now, the kind of you, as you believe it, the threat in the city, in the town, is diminished.
Whoop whoop.
Well done, everyone.
End of Act 1.
Well done, everyone. You beat up on some nuns and an old lady.
An old woman. I almost drowned a nun. Goers.
You almost drowned the nun, but yeah, you did all the
We
things.
took out Richard O'Brien though.
Yeah.
We beat up 2 old frail people.
Yeah, that's what we did. Yeah.
You had a
So
fight with
basically, pair of them were drug addicts. A bit mad.
And
Yeah.
we did some smuggling, so that's all good.
smuggled
For
some stuff in.
those
Did some illegal shit and then got to be self-righteous.
How long are you waiting for before you go out? So
What? So the next day, I'll say, like over breakfast, I'll say, do you think that friend of yours? I'll look at Roll. That friend of yours could go out and scout the camp prior to going. If we're going to go in a few days,
Jacob.
I wasn't thinking Jacob.
I immediately thought you meant Jacob.
Yeah,
It's like just gonna send him out.
No, it's is it Carol
Errol.
as the scout?
Yeah,
Harold's the scout, yeah.
A couple of them go a few days early, and
Jake, he's definitely your friend now, though, Tommy.
Yeah,
he's your-
Yeah, I think he's going to. My senior person, aren't they? So
Jacob's a
it's like,
hugger as well.
Imagine that. Yeah, Jacob. Yeah,
oh, okay.
can you go on a mission on your own? 3
That's-
days walking the forest.
that's honestly what I thought you were doing.
No, it's a little above your level, mate, but you'll get a
We'll be
lot of
coming.
XP.
Yeah. You'll get XP just for getting there. You know, like when you find a new area in a game and you get the XP just for being there.
We just aggroed monsters from halfway across the map.
Yeah. Oh, I can smell some cookies coming up the stairs. Yes.
Oh, you
Oh, I love you.
bastard.
I love you very much, wife. Thank you. Oh, fresh cookies.
Oh, crunchy. Oh,
They're so good.
Criminal.
They're crunchy, but they're soft in the middle.
oh.
Oh, I hate you.
Yeah. So yeah, you tell me what you're doing. You tell me how you want to play this.
So I think we're gonna get over tonight. I think we'll make some plans, I guess, in the next day or so to get Lord Adalbert to get some troops. We'll talk through with Becca, I guess, what we might be wanting to do. Count up our numbers.
So, like, what? 3 days? 2 days? 3 days?
Yeah, I think as soon as we can muster a force together, that's what I push for.
Okay.
Helmet, you really need to have a bath. I say that during the next few days. It's like, seriously, like, you think.
Get back
All
in
in
the
the
river.
river again.
Yeah, I would have shoot. I would have had a bath. Yeah.
And I'm still saying it to you.
So over the next couple.
That's not the piss. That's just my natural musk.
So over the next couple of days, Helmet, you just have like a series of really unfortunate shit things happen to you. Like sometimes you just knock your drink off the side, or like you stub your toe on a table.
That's something.
Like you
Yeah.
go to play a game of cards with someone. Like you literally have the worst hand that you've ever seen every single time, and you lose a couple of silver doing it because you're pretty sure you've got him on the ropes, and this guy's just got a much better hand than you.
Yeah.
You just have a series of really unfortunate shit things happen to you over a couple of days.
Here is unfortunate events.
Basically, yeah. I can tell you why if you want, or it can remain a secret.
No, Mark thinks he knows, but let's leave it.
Yeah.
You can tell me in the debrief. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So over the next couple of days, Lord Adalbert explains that he can spare you a handful of guards.
I'm probably like actually gonna in the market buy myself like a lucky charm or something like that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Ignore the first hit in combat. You know, that'd be good.
Yeah. What sort of lucky charm is it?
You know what? Sigmar's good. If there's a lucky comet charm,
What like a little
like a little iron, like iron's good against magic. Little iron symbol of twin tail comet or something like that.
Sigma.
Yeah, that you get a little. Yeah, you managed to get a little iron Sigma. It costs you. Someone's selling it for 9 brass.
Cool. Yeah.
Yep, you get that. You put it around your neck. What are you doing? Wear it around your neck.
Yeah. That's weird stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Wear it around your neck for it's fine for about an hour before the lever snaps and just falls into the river. You just catch it as you're shaking, like you move your jacket, it just snaps and falls in the river. But you know, for that hour you had it, it looked great.
It's good.
It looked really nice. It really suited you.
You have to take your jacket off, and the buckle gets caught in it. And
Yeah, you get your head caught in the jerkin for a little bit.
I don't know who'd get their like thing caught around their belt buckle. I don't know who'd do that.
No, who would do that? So yeah, 2 days.
Let's say 2 days. Yes.
Okay.
You seem to be pressing for a number.
I am pressing for a specific number, yeah. But I want you guys to decide what it is, because it will affect. It does affect what's happening. You can get a force together in 2 days and leave any time after that. So it's totally up to you.
Yeah.
2 days prep then. Yeah.
Aha! It was a trick. You should have said 4 days. Guess who turns up? It's that troll from the last one who got you when you was asleep.
Oh no!
So Lord Adalbert explains that he can give you a handful of guards. You have your band of mercenaries. You also have Thomas Becker and Holzfäller. And there's now, I'm going to roll. There was 5. There's 5, 6. There's now 7 flagellants with them as well. There's a chance you might pick some more up on the way. They often just kind of wander about. But if you want to head out now, you can head out with all your mercenaries, 6 town guards, 7 flagellants, Holzfäller, Thomas Becker, and Lord Adalbert himself says that he will come out.
Is he trying to save a bit of face by being involved in something?
He's clearly like, he sees that he just wants to be a bit more comfortable. I think you're going to be very happy in a minute, by the way, Mark. I think it's just a bit more. I think it just wants to be a bit more. Yeah, he looks a bit more comfortable. Like when he did his armor, put his armor, and he says like, "All right, lads, I'll come out with you. It's the least I can do." You can see he very clearly would much rather be out stoving in heads than sitting in an office, basically. And yeah, so if you want to head out, you can start making your way out to the big mutant camp.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.